in this is a 2018 or 2019 Colorado sports cat. Again, we've got another video like this, but sort of like, you can see this one's slightly like different as we've climate control down here. The screen looks better too on this model. So obviously it's got factory nav that'll be like rubbish. You can project your phone onto it. I'm just going through, I'm not sure. Yes, it does. So I think it has a sort of wide CarPlay on it. I'm not sure how great it works or whatnot. Seeing what sort of settings it actually has in here. Yeah, it doesn't, we should be able to keep all these sort of, it doesn't sort of look like it has too much going on. Yeah, so we're gonna upgrade with our unit today. Obviously it's got steering wheel controls. I believe it has a USB port somewhere in here with an auxiliary. It's obviously got reverse camera. There you go, so it's got reverse camera with trajectory lines. We should be able to keep all that still working. Steering wheel controls, obviously we'll keep those working, and the auxiliary and like USB. First thing we need to do is pop these little silver trims off. You get trim removal tools in your kit. Seems to always work best when you go in from there. These have been popped off before, so they come off pretty easy, but they will come off. If they're a bit harder, just like slowly like work them. They always eventually come off. It is plastic, don't go too hard on it. 1, 2, 3, 4 need to come off, which I think is 7 mil. So take out those 4, put them in the cup holder or somewhere where you know where they are, because you will be using them again. And now basically the whole thing's gonna come out. So you can start from the bottom normally, work your way up. They're just plastic clips holding these in, so again just go around and sort of work it a bit. It'll eventually come off. You can get your hand under here just to help give yourself a bit extra, and then it has to kind of come down and out from the top. So like that, I just use my hand, go wiggle wiggle wiggle. It will eventually all come out. Now in the back of here, there's a couple have to come unplugged. They just have little push buttons underneath them. I'll show you in a second, and they pop out, and one down the bottom. All right, so that's the whole bit out, and we have these 3 plugs in it. So they just have little, all of them have little push down parts. Push them down and pull it out. If it's a bit jammed, push it back in, and then push it down again and pull it out. Now this and this are basically the radio. So we did one the other day and it was a little bit different. So this is a different model, so we're going to cover this one today. The one we did the other day, I believe, didn't have this box or like this box. So the different badges are a bit different, and that's why our kit has a bit of stuff in it. I'll be covering again the kit here. So obviously you get our main screen with the Facia, main 20-pin plug, auxiliary plugs, G4G and FM AM antenna. That's pretty straightforward. There's 2 sort of AC parts here. For if you have climate control or manual dials, you just have to put both those on the Facia. They clip in. A few extra bits here that actually go on top to match the original Facia. Trim removal tools, user manual, OBD2 scan tool, that's a 4G antenna, 2 USBs and external mic. I'll cover all these as we go to put them in, so but just showing you a hydration assistant. Pre-outs, now you only need these if you're going to run an aftermarket amp. Most people don't. Auxiliary in, you can keep the factory auxiliary port working, or you can put an extra third camera input into here. But again, most people don't even need that. It's up to you. This little antenna here is very important. I like to put this in now, just means I don't forget it. A SIM card, if you want to give this internet or its own number. USB retention cable to keep that factory USB port working. A camera cable, keep the factory camera working, or give a second camera. I put this in now as well because we will need this for test. USB drive for updates. I know it's BS in there because obviously this thing can run its own GPS. An extra plug here that some people need for the factory camera. This is only on some models. A third USB port. This is if you want to run our TPMS with dash cams or something. And then you've got 2 harnesses here. Now, I'm pretty sure we're going to be using this harness. I'll kind of cover these now because this is where it gets a bit confusing because there's a few different options. But no matter what harness we need, we have to swap this CAN bus box over. And the speaker, and this little speaker here. So what we're going to do now is grab the head unit and grab our harness and go and test how it goes. So it doesn't matter too much what harness you're using, but you got to match them up to our plugs. So this top one here, I'm going to unplug this like so. That's going to plug into our big green one there, and then we see, okay, what else have we got? Then we've got this grey one here, so you got to pop these little red clips out to undo these plugs, so you can pull them out with your finger, those little red clips, and push down on the tab and then give it a wiggle and a pull. It should come out. Find which one it matches it. So that's gone to the brown one here, and they should only go into where they can go into. They should click sort of nice and easily. If they don't, I'll just pull it back out and check that there's any pins. Okay, so now we keep going and we say, okay, we got these 2. Do we need any of these 2? And I think we actually do need one. I'll just confirm. which one we need, and then I'll get back to you. This here I believe is the camera and is going to be our extra one that was in that a little bag. So we'll take out the camera one and we'll hook in that. Right, so we've taken out the green one and this grey one, and we've plugged them into our green one here. This one here is pretty straightforward, it can only fit into here. So this other one, there is two options, but we are using this one here, and our kits should be updated, but this little green and black wire should be 1, 2, 3, 4 in from like the bottom, because that's where this grey wire here comes into, and we need it to turn on the a unit because that's powering the CAN bus, that sort of grey and green one just there. So they are matched. So if they don't match, just send us some like pictures and you might just have to deepen this and swap it. We should have it fixed though, so hopefully you shouldn't have to do that. Righto, so that is basically that. So we've got this and this in. There's a few other plugs up the top here that you can pull because we're going to take out this whole deck anyway at the top. So they've got little clips on them, push them down to pull them out. Again, if they're a bit hard, just get the trim tool in there to push them down. Sometimes helps. Which is a bit of a tough one. Let me get that out. And then at the bottom down here, you've got this other module, which is also part of it. So just remember that came out of here. This came out of your actual display you pulled off. Now there's this little grey big one down here, which you should be able to again push in, pop this little. Again, these have got these red clips on them. Small flathead will probably be more suited. Small flathead makes it a lot easier. Pop that and grab this little cable we had in our kit. That's going to plug into here like so, and then untangle this other end, and this yellow RCA is going to go into our purple cam in RCA. Now you will find that at the back of the head unit. I'll show you here. So purple one into here, that's going to get our camera working. And basically we just want to do a test now and make sure we have everything working. So make sure you put the CAN bus, swap the CAN bus over if you need to. Also swap the speaker horn over, that camera into there. Now at the end of this you would have also noticed there was a adapter for the radio, which should be this black one here. That might be DAB or something, and that blue one should be the original GPS. I'm pretty sure that black one is the one we want for the radio, so we'll get that. Now actually to sort of break get this off, which is pretty uncommon on these Facia type connectors, but the fact that this one was a bit hard, maybe, well actually what happened is when I pushed down here it snapped. Maybe it's just a bad plastic mold, but if you do have to, if that happens to you, because normally when this actually happens it's a batch issue and they all have the same problem. If you do push it down, you snap the tab off and you can't get it out, you can just destroy this plug a little bit, because where we're going to plug it into is here, and you can just tape it up. It's not going to be the end of the world. It clips it anyway pretty good because it has some extra clips, so it doesn't actually matter. The green one came off fine again, just I'll press it down and flick it back. That green one probably dropped down here somewhere. Again, not 100% sure, that's probably the DAB or the GPS, but the radio was the one we wanted. So in the back here we've got that camera in, got our main plug in, and then also hanging off the other end you'll find our radio plug like so. And what we want to do is turn the key on and see if something happens. We're just basically looking for power, cool, and steering wheel controls, yes, and reverse camera, yes. Trajectory lines like working just when I moved it there. The other thing we might do is scan the radio.
Want to give back to your community? Volunteer with citizen advocacy and make
all good. So
with an intellectual disability. Build a unique.
So that's all good. So we've got everything working, reverse camera, steering wheel controls, etc. Now we can go from pretty much put everything back in. So what I do now is turn the car off. You can pull all your stuff out. It's easy like that. Pull that out. What I'll do first, I'll go and swap the stuff on the Facia over, and then we'll go and put all our cables in, and we'll go from there. So just put your screens face down. Always be soft under there. You can see I got the foam into this one. This just has these little clips around the outside. I'll pop them one by one, put pressure on the front, and the whole thing will just jump out like that. You might just need to pop one side and then get to the other one and then go back. You can use your trim tools to get into here if you need to. Enjoy. So we've just clipped this back into our one here, you can see, and we've put 2 screws in here. Well, those screws have just been taken from these 2. Then you'll pop out the aircon vents. It's easiest to kind of bend them from the inside out and then get them out. They've got 3 clips on each side, because if you pop the inside first, then it's a bit easier to get these clips on the outside, and then they slot straight into there like that. And then the only things you've got left after that, the clips. So you just get a flat head under there, bend them off and put them onto our Facia in the spots, and then up the top here we have these that screw in obviously like so, and that is those two top ones here. So they screw, so they're on like an up angle, not a down angle, so they go that way. And there's two little screws in the bag for those, just here in the kit. So that's everything transferred over there. Clips, just put your hands over them when you pop them off because they can go a bit far. Aircon vents, AC, and top clips. So now we're going to put some of our extra cables in. You can take out the old box here, you just need to pop this little clip up. That old box comes out. Put that down there for now. Again, the horn, I'll make sure you clip the horn back on this part here so you have everything when you go to do it. Right, so we've got a few things in here. This just needs a clear view of the sky with no steel above it. So you just need to put it on the bottom of the dash somewhere so you can see through the window screen. Stick pad on the back. Yeah, just put your hands up and find a good spot to put it. Yeah, you can go to the side, we can go on here. I'm actually just going to go on the top out the back there, I think, if I can fit it through. Yeah, you could even just go straight up under here. You decide where you're going to put it, just as long as you got a clear view of through the windscreen with just like plastic above it and no steel, you'll be okay. I should tight to get in there. That didn't go too well for me. In the end, I found a little flat spot just up here on top of this little bit of like plastic, so I've just put it there. It's overhanging like a little bit, but the stick pad's like mainly sticking down, so that's the spot we're going to put that for now. A 4G antenna, not too critical here where this goes. You can put it really wherever you like because it's a bit like your phone. Even if your phone's on the floor in the car, it still gets reception, so that's in there. Alright, now we've got our USBs. All of those will run down to like the glove box. Super easy to get to the glove box in this model, which is handy. So we'll run all those down to there, pretty much straight down to the glove box. You couldn't get asked for any easier like that. You can see that's gone through the glove box. SIM card we'll put in there too, so you don't have to use this, but at least if you do, you can get to it easily. Now the extra USBs people might mainly use if they're going to run our tire pressure system or like something else. Now dual USBs and microphone. One of these we're going to keep, so you can use whatever one, but I normally use the one that says CarPlay Android Auto on it. We're going to plug into our retention cable like so. The other one I'm going to run down into the glove box. So that's our third USB. The retention one's just going to keep our factory one working, so it's a bit like a pass-through cable. External, so a microphone, if you are going to run one of those, they should normally come from the kit, plugs into here. Now this one here, I believe we might just need to test, but I think it's going to be a green one here. That plugs off and our one should match into that plug into here. If it doesn't match, it's a sign that it's the blue one. All right, let's try the bluey. Oh no, it's got a little lip on the bottom. So not that, not there. Okay. I'll test this, but it seems to be the black one that came out of the main screen when you unplugged it, because it's the only one that actually fits. So don't take these two out like I did. So I thought they were normally that one on this, but that's fine. So leave like those two in. It's that black one here that came out of the screen. That's going to leave that. It's like running. So that's all our plugs we want to do now. Now we just want to tidy everything up a little bit. I'll just tape it up a bit and then we can put the unit back in. So you can tape it as much as you want, but ideally you've got the climate I come back in here. So if you fit majority of your cable down here and then your CAN bus part and stuff can tuck into the back up here. I stuck our horn speaker here, just a little beeper speaker. Reverse camera, so I don't know if I sort of showed, but if you are using like that one, it is a piggyback one, so you do plug out that one, you put our one in and you plug the other end back in here. Then I do like to tape all the things that sort of go together like back a bit so I don't forget any. Over here I've done the same thing but with the GPS and like the radio plug, etc. Remember to leave out the plugs that you just like need to plug back into things if there was any. I think it's actually only the AC plug, which was this little grey one here, so remember to have that out handy. Then basically what you want to do is grab the unit, throw your plugs in. I'll try and do this so you can sort of see what's going on. So I normally like to start from like one side, and we're going to like rest it up there anyway, and we're going to just make sure everything sort of works before we go and put it all back in, because it's pretty easy to forget plugs. So radio, 4G, GPS, the main 20-pin plug. You've got your Bluetooth antenna. Sorry, you've probably seen hardly anything. I'll put it back here a bit. And then we're going all these early ones. That's kind of why I do like to tape them together, because then I might not forget something, but it's pretty easy to forget plugs here, so that's why we always double check it before we put it all back in. Just saves you having to do things twice. So yeah, every plugs in there. I just actually popped that out a little bit when I came out. And you've got your AC one, don't forget that. And then obviously your other ones that are tucked back in as they go in. Now I'm going to tuck the CAN bus back up into that old hole where the old one was. So that's when you kind of start to set it back in. And this is when you sort of got to get your hand in the back there. Make sure all your stuff's not going to be in the way and tucks down. So you're going to tuck down or tuck basically into that hole. Get it all sort of lined back up. Make sure there's no sort of wires behind where that AC vents are going, because that will cause you a couple issues. Yeah, it needs to go. So just, you know, actually to move the deck up the back on this one a bit higher. So if you do notice like yours is a bit tight, you could have some of like old stock and you might have to do it manually. Just like get in like touch with us and we'll show you how to do it. But you're basically lifting the like deck of the back of here to the very highest position. So sort of once you think it's about lined up, you should be able to sort of come in here and push everything in a bit. You should find those clips start to hold it. Then basically we want to turn it on, check that something happens. We've got power, we can see we've got our AC working. You can see the head unit's powered up, which is always good. Then just a quick check. Yeah, steering wheel controls are still working.
Join over 400
cool, got reception.
Become a Wanneroo Business Association member today for just $30.
And reverse camera's working.
Events,
awesome. So
promotion and be part of a supportive
turn that off.
Visit uva.asn.
That's basically everything now. We need to put our 4 10 mils back in and our silver trim, and then we'll go from there really. Sorry, I said 10 mil before. Obviously these are like these 7 mil ones. Go around, tighten them all up, grab your trim. Just make sure to have these centered before you go and clip the trims back on, because if you don't, they touch the edge like that. Make sure this goes in. It doesn't go in, pull it off and try again, because it will go in. You just need to get it all lined up. I'll come over here and do this one first. Maybe start with the top. That little top one seems to be a bit tighter. Yeah, there we go. You'll feel them when you get them. That's better. So if you don't get it first time, don't stress, just take it back off. Come in for round 2. Seem to work better getting that sort of top one to kind of line up first, and then coming down. The top one seems super tight. Just make sure you haven't bent it or anything when it's going in. Looks all okay. Okay now, there we go. Not sure why that was a bit hard the first time, but there you have it. So it all looks pretty good. Obviously we'll tape up the sort of these and tidy them up. External mic, if you do run it, we normally just suggest try a call with and without it. You're not too far from the actual mic on this one, so I'm gonna leave it. But you just pretty much you just like to sort of like run it above the steering wheel down here. You can pop this piece of trim off the side here. I tuck it out here into here. You can pop all of these two off, and you can take the handle off and this whole trim pulls off. Put the mic up there, and I put the cable in the existing cable tray, just like tape it to the existing ones and down and behind and back in. There we have it. I'll start it up and peel this off. All right, so yeah, cool. So there's a head unit installed. Looks pretty much like a factory, just got the latest mod cons and stuff. Obviously you can install whatever apps you want in here. You'll still get some of your, maybe, yes you will, you still get a few of your settings and stuff in here that you had coming in from the other one. Not too much you'll probably bother with. You will get this sort of popping up depending if you want that to show or not. Majority of our customers turn it off because it is a bit annoying. You can turn it off like that. Now you see when that comes on, it's not going to show. Yeah, because the problem is if it does, if you have it on like sort of auto, it like pops up all the time. See, we have our reverse camera there. That's the factory reverse camera working. You got your trajectory lines. Again, you can adjust the like contrast and like color on here. But that's basically it. Everything all set up and like working and all installed and all looking pretty good.